What's up, everybody? I think the audio should be good, but let me know if it's not. I'm back with another another chill hobby stream. I'm gonna continue on the Heavy Bolter Company Veteran, but first we're gonna do a little building. Probably gonna build one of these Zinch Screamers, and then we'll shift gears. We'll shift to some painting afterwards. Hey, Shy Onion, thanks for tuning in. Happy to see you in chat. Having fun with Space Marine 2? Indeed, indeed. What class do I play? I play tactical mostly, but I do plan to dabble with all of them. The class I've played the least is the Blade Guard Veterans. Sorry, Bulwark. Bulwark, as they are called in Space Marine 2. This is a weird kit. I've never really built it before. I guess any of these heads would attach. Probably. Probably. We shall see. Soon enough. Punk Star, it's good. Oh, things are going good, eh? Nice. Oh, maybe not. Maybe... Alright, it's backwards. Silly me. Yeah, I think this'll fit. Don't think I'm ruining anything. A little bit of trimming and it should go together nice. Yeah, I'm enjoying the tactical class. Kind of wish the bolt gun weapons had a bit more oomph. Especially the heavy bolt rifle. Like, that should... It feels way too much like a auto bolt rifle. I know they both got the big old drum magazines, but I don't know. There's a little bit of technical things that I would like changed in the game, but for the most part, I'm enjoying it well enough. It feels I have much less to complain about in Space Marine 2 than normal 40k. I think Space Marine 2 is pretty fun as it is. I just kind of want more customization and, hopefully with time, more operations. I can imagine, right? Fast forward a few seasons into the game's life cycle, and if it has like a wealth of content like Vermintide 2, oh boy. I think now we're cooking. Shy Onion says, I'm thinking of buying a spearhead because Jay from Eons of Battle is raving a bit. Oh, is raving about it. Any suggestions? A spearhead. I guess it comes down. That's Age of Sigmar's combat patrol game, right? Like the entry, the shallow end of the pool, as it were. If that is indeed what you're talking about, then I guess the right answer is to go with whatever faction that appeals to you, right? Whichever one you would enjoy painting the most, or maybe which offers the most variety for you relative to what you're used to in 40k, maybe. That's how I would go about it. I would look at... I think it'd be really cool to use some Sylvaneth. That's just such a good-looking army. Just a bunch of Ents just walking around. Big old tree beards. Or those wraith-looking guys are pretty cool, too. That's a pretty decent dry fit, I think. Where's my... Should I check the tail, too? Are they all, they all mix and match here? I could look online to try and find instructions for these, but I kind of want to pursue figuring out this puzzle natural. Yeah, this will work. Oh, and then we got dorsal fins or spikes. Just gonna build one of these guys and then I'll get to painting that company veteran. Hey Warpforge, how's it going? Good to see you in chat. Punkstar confirms, yes, Spearhead is AOS's combat patrol. As for like the actual formats of those boxes and what's in them, I haven't really dabbled or taken a look to know what the contents are for each in terms of value. I would assume they all have a little bit of value to offer relative to buying them all individually. It's usually the case with those GW Combat Patrol or starter sets. You usually get like one unit for free, I think is usually how it works out. Well, you know what, that's how it was for the old start collecting boxes. Oh man. Those were way better. Way better. Shining says, I play Night Lords though, and I don't know how that would translate to AOS. And no, I'm not playing Slaves to Darkness. Yeah, I would, personally, I would opt for a variety if I were to do a combat patrol of Age of Sigmar or a kill team, or, well, that doesn't exist for Age of Sigmar, but you get what I mean. I would go for variety, personally. I think those Citizens of Sigmar look real great too. But it could just be the wood grain. I just find wood grain in Age of Sigmar has such a good aesthetic. Could just be novelty though. Right? Like how much wood grain stuff do we see in 40k? 0, it feels like. You know, the odd bolt gun handle on like a legionary comes to mind. Warpforge says, I'm good. Good hobby progress done today. I'm in the server voice chat if you wanted to chat again. I was thinking about that, Warpforge, and I'll probably, and I've already updated the membership stuff to reflect this, but I'll probably be doing members only streams for that sort of stuff going forward. I'm figuring all this out as I go, and I think that's probably most conducive to offering members and patrons kind of like a perk of a voice chat and conversation. Whereas I'd like to keep this sort of hobby hang series something fairly consistent where it's me and chat at large. I think that's probably better. I don't know. Look, nothing's set in stone, of course, but we're figuring it out as we go. So I probably will do a members stream tomorrow evening, though. I guess a little bit, like an hour or so from now. But tomorrow. Because during the day, I have a game scheduled. Going to be taking the Firekeepers for another spin. And this time, that Heavy Bolter Company event will have a bit more paint on them, which will be nice. Your response is no worries, well, much appreciated. I am jonesing to try more one-page rules, though. I've noticed that one-page rules has Warpole demons, as they're called, which I find all those not quite exactly correct, but close enough names, very funny. But they have Warpole demons, and they're divided into 4 categories. And there's Demons of Lust, which happens to aptly serve my Demons of Slaanesh army. So I'm kind of pumped to give them a whirl, because running just pure Slaanesh demons is very unsatisfying in 40k at the moment. And I suspect it'll be a good time. I was very encouraged after that previous one-page rules game I had. Got the old dorsal fin looking fine. Mold line's not too bad here. Misfit, welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining. I think we're ready for some glue. Misfit says, I got Hivestorm pre-ordered this morning. What is Hive? Oh, it's the Kill Team box. Nice. Okay. I was like, what is Hivestorm? So that's fun. Well, that's another thing I'm curious to dabble with. Do we have access to rules for new Kill Team's faction formations? Can you make a roster of all these different types of battle brothers like you could in Kill Team 1.0? I found that quite appealing at the time. Having a game format where you have a roster of specialists, you know, you're just transporting like 20 models, right? And then going into each battle, you decide who you wish to deploy. That has an allure for me. I will not deny. Especially if I could, I don't know, I just feel like you'd play more. Just get more games in. And it's probably easier to jump between different factions or different, kill teams, since it's less of a memory tax relative to switching whole armies in 40k. Is that enough glue for this tail? Should be. Wow. Well, that is a Screamer technically completed. I don't love that gap, but it might just be what it is. Look at him. It's so ugly. It's a neat little model. Okay, so we can switch gears back to much more important things. Punkstar says new jump pack, Jump Tempestus and Vespids. Yep. Hivestorm. Misfit says, just been experimenting with a Jungle Ruins base. Come out looking good. Very interesting. Yeah, Jungle Ruins or Ice Ruins? That was the question, right? If I recall correctly. Well, I don't know if this is horrendously loud. Apologies if it is. It's gotta get the debris out of the way. Alright, where are we at with this guy? I guess we gotta do metal colors. I suppose that makes the most sense. Which means we could also do the metals on this guy. I don't mind batch painting metals. They're fairly quick. Fairly quick. Alright. Get another paint tool handle going and a bottle cap, of course. Ah, you've dropped pics in the Manufactorum? Well, I'll take a look. Oh yeah, nice. Very cool. What are these structures made out of? You got a nice dense undergrowth of the kind of a jungle, like all those dried leaves and stuff you'd usually see on a jungle floor. Very cool. Very cool. I think Lizardmen would also be a fun spearhead. To jump back to that topic. Just these like high variety factions you don't get to see much of in 40k. Like you don't have much lizard or scale type materials. At least on a faction level, you don't really get that. You have a bit on like beast snaggers, but I don't think there's much else. Idea is a tree. The tree was growing out, and that's the head of a statue and construct. Nice. Oh, your first go with sculpting with Millipede. Well, for first go, that's... Let me look at it again. Yeah, it's not bad. I think, honestly, I think sculpting is... It's hard to do hard surface sculpting in the case for things like ruins. I guess wood, like trees, wouldn't really count. I mean, it is a hard surface, but you have a lot of texture to work with. Right? Like when I say hard surface modeling, I'm thinking of like imagine trying to sculpt a Roman style like pillar or column. I feel like that'd just be the worst time in life ever. But yeah, for first time sculpting, not bad at all. The skull bit was an old toy head. Really? Nice use of miscellaneous junk. I once built a bunker, like a little bunker terrain piece out of packaging styrofoam, and because the size was just perfect for like 5 at max, like 40mm bases to fit inside this little bunker. It's about like this size, like basically the video frame. It's about that size, and it turned out awesome in terms of size and look, but it's too soft of a material, and very quickly, after a little bit of use, it began showing the white foam underneath, which was a shame. I figured it'd be okay with like a few layers of, not paper mache, but Mod Podge, that stuff. But it was insufficient. Okay, so we want the drum to be metal for sure, and the weapon casings will be, of course, dark blue. But all these mechanical bits, I think it's safe to assume they're just going to be a metal color. I also have, on the topic of Age of Sigmar 3.0 rumors, I happened to catch Outer Circle's stream on said topic. And yeah, I'm not overly fond of what's in the rumors. It sounds as if it, if I was invested in Horus Heresy, I feel like I'd be upset. I imagine I would not like many of these rumored changes. That's a bit of plastic I gotta clean up. We have two cables. Maybe they could be black and red, like a rubber hose. A black ribbed rubber hose and a red power cable. That might look good. I feel like red's a good cable color for salamanders, for your green armored color scheme. Oh, I also got the spare drum here. What color should these, I don't even know what to call them, these mounting plates be? Just all silver? Make it easy? Warpforge says I'll give it a watch, but I'll treat the Outer Circle same I do as Valorant with a pinch of salt. Yeah, they're just, well, I can't speak for Valorant, but the Outer Circle is just reacting to rumors, basically. That's what the stream is. But not knowing what those rumors were, only that they were surfacing, I found it interesting enough. Yeah, only time will tell if that's if that comes to pass. And the thing about rumors, like you're getting rumors from playtesters. I mean, they might be true, but that might not be what ends up going into the final game, right? Just because they're reporting what they're seeing, and it's certainly possible you could have different playtesters playtesting different things. You know, a bit of compartmentalization in a way. Alright, so a bit of silver on the helmet. Cool, that'll work. You know, for these guys, for the Victrix counts as, for the Chapter Master, haven't really decided what to do for their forehead plates. Probably should go with a silver instead of gold, I think. I think that'll look better. Or maybe the Victrix or the bodyguards will have gold, and then these guys, just the company heroes, can have silver. Maybe that's a good point of distinction, perhaps. Oh shit, I just realized I missed this. That should be metal color. Gotta break up the colors in a satisfying way, you know? Alright, his marksman honor, we gotta paint that metal, and what else? What else? Bolt pistol handle. Any other accessories around? Oh, these leg ports. Probably. Alfarius fell asleep, so you're late. Well, I'm happy you woke up and decided to tune into the stream. It's very much appreciated. You know, we're out here. Well, we're out here hustling, grinding away on our, well, on my company heroes. Yeah, I just call it a command squad, okay? It's crazy. It's crazy talk. Okay, so I think, knock on wood, you know, I think those are all the metal areas done. I'll do gold for these dangly bits. It's decent timing because my silver is just about running out. Oh, cool. Cool. Alright, let's get the old pallet going. Alfarius was tempted to get a company heroes, but then you saw the price tag and was not so eager. Yeah, I can't recall the price of what they are. This is I kind of made my own squad with spare models. These are the Sterngard. These two are actually Sterngard veterans from the Leviathan. They're the Pushfoot guys in the Leviathan box. But stick them on a 40mm base, and I mean, why not? Why not just use them? They have the right loadout, and they got robes, and they look all important. Seemed like a good use for them. Whoops. And then I had my Ancient Kit Bash and my Champion Kit Bash as separate characters already. And then when GW goes and says, hey, we don't sell a Primaris Champion anymore, so that's no longer a unit. I'm like, well, I'm just going to take the models I already have and make this box that you're trying to sell me. Make this unit that you're trying to sell me, rather. Oh, shoot, you know what? I'll be... Not even 1 minute. I'm just going to be back real quick. I swear. Look, already back. Did you miss me? Okay, I guess, what's next? What's next? Do I have any Steel Legion alive on the palette? Yep, looks like it. Oh, this is very runny. This isn't going to cover anything. Okay, we're gonna add a bit to the palette. Try and create a base color for the gold elements. Oh, it's still too thin. Jeez. It's no good. Also, the box set is weird. It comes with a captain and a heavy bolter marine, but you can't run either. I mean, you can run them in that unit. Including the captain is weird. It should have just been an apothecary. Like, oh my god. Then you could just have a much more correct command squad. The heavy bolter I'm not too perturbed by. Because what was in the company, or what was in the command squad before? It was 2 veterans and everything else. Champion, ancient, and apothecary. So the heavy bolter, veteran, and company heroes replaces the combi weapon guy. But I mean, back then you could swap the war gear. Oh, what a time when you could build the models the way you wanted. Alferi says, that's why I'm running my Crimson Fists as Templars while keeping the color scheme. Emperor's Champion, go Burr. Yeah, Emperor's Champion is pretty cool. That's another old sculpt I just love. Kind of like how I love old Lamardis. I don't much care for new Lamardis or new Emperor's Champion. Bump up that green on his feet. I mean, they were gonna get pretty weathered anyways with the sandy dust pigment, but it's probably a good idea to at least get the color in place. Alvarez, you would like the command squad better as well, eh? How could you not? How could you not? It's got the apothecary in there. It's classic. It's a classic unit. Let's try and make this a little brighter. Just a touch. I'm not too familiar with the Brayard's Revenge model, Alfarius. It's probably something I'll have to look up after the stream. What game system is it from? Yeah, Mr. Bean, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Mr. Bean is also curious where where Prayer's Revenge is from. It was a model. It was one of the Warhammer Commemorative Series models. It was an alternative version of the Emperor's Champion model based off an old piece of artwork. Oh, I know the model you're speaking of, Halfarius. Where the Emperor's Champion is plunging a sword through an orc. Is that the one? Am I thinking of the right model? Yeah, that is the one. Nice. I wonder if I can just do a fast but adequate job on this guy. Just kind of haphazardly layer in these layers. Save a bit of time, you know? Alright, that's gonna stay white. That right knee pad will stay white. Well, not exactly stay white. We're gonna make it white to denote the status of veteran, of a man with experience. Nocturne green's looking a little thin. Well, this Sega Saturn playlist is pretty chill. So the Kill Team box is up for pre-order this weekend, right? Which means is it a 1 week pre-order or are we looking at a 2 week one? This time around. Sometimes for these larger releases, GW does extend that pre-order window, right? Yeah, I'd like to determine when that Kill Team becomes available for play, because I suspect that might pull away from any one-page rules playing. Because I think that'll become something I dip a toe into, so to speak. Now, Theria says, okay, question chaplains. Do you paint them all? Do you paint them in the all black color scheme aside from one shoulder pad? Or do I paint the whole thing in the chapters colors? I guess it's a matter of preference, I think. There's probably a right answer if you're trying to, in air quotes, accurately paint it according to your chapter's heraldry. But if it's successor chapters or, you're just playing your Imperial Fists rather than GW's Imperial Fists, then it's just preference, really. I like to lean into those Codex heraldry distinctions. I think it's neat. So my chaplain's black. Well, I guess technically he's brown, but a very dark brown. And though I do think I left one arm. I think I left his left arm in the chapter armor scheme. So the green trim, chapter badge, just as if it was any other Battle Brother. I thought that one arm thing was kind of cool. No worries, Alferis, if you don't know the pre-order window, that's fine. It's easy enough for me to figure out. I was just checking in case anyone in chat happened to know. That's all. It's easy enough to solve with a bit of Google foo. Also, if we get a new Cantor model, I will be overjoyed. Because if there's a new updated character model, they gotta come with some other lads, meaning we get some tall Crimson Fists. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, Alferis. I feel as though the trend seems to be when a publication comes out, you get a single character with that codex. Seems to be the case. Even for things like campaign books, like the Arcs of Omen. Here's a book, here's a character. Though admittedly, those were fairly thick characters. And as for Marine Range refreshes and custom models for the Crimson Fists, I'm doubtful. As cool as it would be, and I would be right there with you, because I am a fan of the old Crimson Fists. I just can't help but feel like Space Wolves are more likely to get that sort of treatment before Crimson Fist would. Just my feelings on the matter. Doesn't seem especially likely. It's possible, right? It's definitely possible. How cool would it be to get like a bunch of veteran, it's like Rin's World veterans? Oh, that'd be the coolest. Like those old relics from, I think, 8th edition that Crimson Fist had, the Fist of Vengeance and Duty's Burden. Oh, so cool. So cool. Back when Crimson Fists had unique rules. Now you gotta use some sort of attachment that hopefully best fits them. Yeah, you gotta work with in this weird paradigm. It was such a good rule, too, that Crimson Fist had. Like, not just in terms of value, mechanical efficacy, but in its ability to, like, characterize how you play and build lists. This idea, like, you are better at fighting when you're outnumbered. It's very fun. It'll just lend to narrative scenarios. Great stuff, honestly. The Fist of Retribution. Is that what it was? I can't remember the names of those relics. But yeah, there was a fist one. There's a very cool fist one, and a cool bolter, if memory serves. It's just 2 relics, right? Pretty small in comparison to, like, the other chapter supplements, but it's all you need is to give each of these successors a little love, and then, whoa, crazy. People who invested in those factions feel a sense of reward. A sense of being, I don't know, like cared for, in a sense. It's like the thing that you were asked to invest in wasn't forgotten. Also, did you guys catch? Did you catch the Artel new Howling Banshees that are being previewed? They make me feel a little bad, in the sense that, well, you know what? It's just they're not Jane Zar. Jane Zar makes me feel bad because I think that model's much more aesthetically pleasing. Unfortunately, I feel like, oh, now I don't like mine as much. My official Jane Zar with her stupid clown shoes. Tramari, hey, I'm sick today. Oh, well, I'm sorry you're feeling under the weather, Tramari. That sucks. That certainly sucks. Alfarius asks me to explain. Well, I am referring to Artel's. I think they posted it on YouTube. Artel W, right? They've been working on these new Howling Banshees because their old ones were a little aged. You know, they weren't their nicest. I didn't buy them, right? Like it's they weren't models. I was like, these don't look up to snuff with their newer models, right? So they started to redo their Howling Banshees, and they look really nice. And the Banshees themselves, I'm not too. I mean, I have actually quite a lot of. I've just been gifted a whole bunch of Eldar, of older edition Eldars. I have a whole bunch of metal Banshees. I have enough Banshees, so I wouldn't be too interested in acquiring Artel's new Banshees. But their Banshee Prime, or whatever they end up calling here, the one that would serve as a good counts as Jane Zar, in my opinion, is shaping up. I haven't seen the model yet, only renders, like only previews. And I think they posted on YouTube. For sure on Instagram, that's where I saw it. Yeah, their new Jane Zar or Banshee Prime just looks so much better than Jane Zar. In my opinion, I'm not a fan of Jane Zar's big shoe aesthetic. Like really long toes. Which I don't love. I don't love it for a, an acrobatic fighter that's jumping around. Why are your toes so long? And they're pointed down. They're not even pointed upwards, like a big curly Arabian shoe or something. It's kind of like just awkward. It's awkward for me to imagine how Jane Zar would be hopping around with these shoes that would impede movement. In addition to just being like aesthetically less pleasing, in my opinion, than a regular shoe. And then the Artel Banshee Prime seems to not have those issues, so that's what I mean. Like it makes me feel a bit bad for my Jane Zar because I'm like, oh, now I want that one. I don't like mine. That's definitely a first world problem if there was one. So I'm not trying to be a drama queen about it, just something to talk about. Tramari says, I'm not getting paid today. Oh, so you're off. You're off because you're sick. I guess that's why you're in the stream. Well, I'm happy you're able to join, and tuning in spite of being sick is very much appreciated, Tramari. Hope you feel better soon. Alfarius asks, where can I see it? I think I mentioned. You can see it on their Instagram and maybe on their YouTube community tab. They might have made a post about it. Alfarius asks, what be the channel name? I'm unfamiliar with it. Oh, it'd be Artel W. Artel W. It's a nice looking model. Good pose, good use of the... I don't know, it's like leaning on the spear. It's kind of like a topical reference, like Black Myth, Wukong a little bit. Being able to stand idle on your spear. It just creates a very aesthetic and reactive kind of pose. Very cool. Very cool. Much, I think, and I have to take another look at the official Janzar because it's hard to recall, but I think official Janzar is mid-jump, like a mid-jump kind of pose. And I think it's I think in terms of silhouette, it's probably weaker, but again, I'm recalling from memory. That might be an interesting video, just a Phoenix Lord comparison. I feel like it's just gonna come off with me saying Artel models are so cool. Not the best. Maybe not worth doing. Or maybe it is worth doing, I don't know. Alright, so the greens here are actually, they're coming together. We're building up some good tonal variety. Slowly but surely. Tramari says, I do like the older style Dreadnought chassis they have for Chaos. Chassis. Yes, I recall a Box Dread styled model they had. Man, Box Dreads are just the coolest. They are the coolest Dread. Tramari says they also have some Ironclad variants for the Redemptor Dread. Do they really? I was not aware. I would like to do something else for these guys to kind of denote their status a bit better. But I'm parsed for ideas. I feel like I got it in my head. This idea of like my chapter's color scheme denoting different companies, and with this left or right shoulder pad trim. And now it's looking kind of plain without it on these company vets. At least I find them to be plain. I see your message, McHappy Face. Just a little focused into the model right now. Though, welcome to the chat. I appreciate that you've tuned in. Hello, what the 40k? And what the 40k N ears? How is everything? Nice. I like that. Things are going well. I'm just grinding out this command squad. Excuse me, not command squad. Company heroes. Company heroes. Jeez, I scoff. I scoff at that unit name. In my heart of hearts, this is a command squad. Really, I just want them as an honor guard for my chapter master. I feel like every chapter master's gotta have an honor guard, you know? It doesn't feel right otherwise. Like, I can't just put my chapter master on the field leading a unit of like aggressors, you know? It has to, you gotta have something more regal, something more, you gotta have a banner in there is what I'm saying. You gotta put this guy in the field with a real entourage of cool dudes, you know? Like you see Dante and the Sanguinary Guard, well, not the new Sanguinary Guard, we're talking about the old ones, okay? You see that Dante on the field with those guys, and you're like, holy shit. Look at this guy. This golden host. This guy's a big deal. And I kind of want that for my chapter master. And I figured the best way to do it is with a company hero or command squad, really. That's probably the best way to do it for a successor, like Ultima founding chapter. Make happy face as every chapter master that has honor, I guess would have an honor guard. Yes, probably that is an apt thing to consider. I feel like that position comes with honor though. Are there chapter masters without honor? Are there? That's a good question. Maybe not quite chapter master, like, but Typhus as a sort of legion master is. He's a pretty dishonorable guy. But maybe you shouldn't count. Legions that fell to chaos. Seth doesn't have much of it. He has no honor. I don't know. He definitely has something adjacent to honor, right? Like he cares very much about the Blood Angels' lineage and their gene line and their curse. You know, he's not happy when the Primaris first showed up. They didn't have any Black Rage, or rather Red Thirst. He was very annoyed by that. So I feel like that's kind of related to. Interesting. Maybe it's not quite honor, but I don't think it's far from it, honestly. He's just a savage warrior. Really turns the battlefield red, if you know what I mean. Verado, welcome to the chat. Yes, there's probably some scummy chapter masters out there. For sure. I mean, I guess even given that the paradigm is people can make their own chapters, there's certainly room for it. In canon, probably as well. Altharius says Iron Hands don't give a dang about honor. I don't know. Do they? Do they not? Admittedly, my Iron Hands 40k lore is very thin. In the Heresy, they were, to a fault, placing a lot of honorifics on their Primarch rather. But perhaps that is not the same in 40k. Is it such that they don't care about honor? You know, the fact they have these unique titles called Iron Father feels as though they care. But maybe an Iron Hands honor guard wouldn't be a squad of guys with a banner. Maybe it would be something more like a bunch of automatons or something. A cool squad of battle automata. Or are they not allowed to have that in canon? Only in the Heresy. But you know what? The Admech only have it in the Heresy too, so take that for what it is. Oh boy. Age of Justice. Welcome to the chat. Just saw your message. Heavy bolter? Question mark. Hardly newer. First stream I've managed to tune into. Love the thematic list build. Keep up the awesome work. Ah, well, thank you. Very much appreciated. Heavy bolter, hardly newer. Nice. First time I've heard that one. Yeah, I don't know what to do for next thematic list build, honestly. I kind of just go with the flow for those videos whenever the inspiration strikes, you know, but I want to avoid just redoing the same list from the same kind of theme for the same faction just because it's a new edition. Like, I feel like the theme is the same, the list is almost the same, just the points and the stratagems are different. Like, it feels really going through the motions, you know? I'm not really sure what to do for any future thematic list builds. Kind of at an impasse until inspiration strikes. Maybe I should do a Space Wolves one. I do have a good meme that I've been sitting on for a Space Wolves one. A good old meme opener. But what kind of list should it be? You could pretty easily do a Dreadnought heavy list because the Space Wolves have so many. This doesn't feel especially Space Wolves, you know. But maybe if you include Bjorn and Murderfang, that it's by default. Oh, it is a Space Wolves thematic list build. Look, it's got these two named characters. Maybe that's fine. Trimari says, I don't know, a lot of chapters try to separate themselves from humanity and view themselves more as weapons. Cold ideology outweighs their former humanity. That is true, and honestly, the lack of transhuman behavior in Space Marines does bother me often. That is an interesting point. Though I do still think you can have honor for your chapter and your Gene Father and all that Primarch veneration, while still maintaining a bit of, while still maintaining that transhuman logic, right? Like, so I'm not done the Space Marine 2 campaign, and this isn't exactly a spoiler. I don't think it is, anyways. But some of the behavior of some of the characters in your squad in that game, I just kind of roll my eyes because it feels like, oh, look at this guy. Look at this Ultramarine acting like a teenage girl. Like, it's so cringy to me. Like, oh, my feelings. It's a little annoying. And I get it, you want to have drama, but not like this. Not like this. Aspak NL. Apologies on the pronunciation if I'm butchering it. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, you know what I should do? I should just remove this guy's arm so I can paint the chest plate easier. We'll do that after I apply some greens to this trim. And you know, after all these greens are in place, I think we're ready for some good old reliable gnome oil. Alfaris says, give me a mod to play as Tiberos in Space Marine 2, and I'll be pleased. Yeah, maybe. One of my buddies was, like, hyped around the idea of playing as a Terminator class. You know, just imagining what they could add. But I feel like that's not likely. Only because I don't think the animations could be reused. I think that requires so much more work than any other armor Markov class being added to the roster. Just doesn't seem as practical. But who knows? It's possible. Asback says it's all good on the Between the Name. Oh, much appreciated. I'm happy to hear that. I finished painting my Malum Cato and decided to finish what Black Shield Titus started. Oh, very cool. And you saw me live, so hey, why not pop up for a bit before going? Hey, I appreciate that. I gotta pluck away at this Firekeeper's command squad. Because I started working on on finishing up my chapter master, and then I thought, wait, hold on, maybe I should do him last. Maybe the person of highest seniority in the chapter should be done last, as opposed to like his bodyguards, you know? I think that feels a bit better. Then you can leverage all that experience of the rest of that you've acquired over the rest of the models and apply it to that key character. Although, mind you, my chapter master is mostly painted. I'm just redoing an arm or two. Shamari says, sucks when your throat feels like sandpaper. Yeah, dude. Being sick is the worst. Every time I get sick, I just get super appreciative of being well, and then like a day into into being normal health again, I'm like, I lose all appreciation for that. Take it for granted again immediately. But I hear you. It's throat colds are no bueno. It's too bad you couldn't just purge the demon out of you, you know? It's too bad. Just one and done. Just one bad day of being sick, and then I'd rather take that. I'd rather take one, maybe two terrible days of being sick than, oh, I just have a sore throat for like a week and a half. That's the worst. Asbak says, or maybe you paint the head honcho first so you are still max motivated. Oh, that's an interesting thing to consider. I guess it's a case of different strokes for different folks. Yeah, I try to build up to that satisfying reward. I would hope. I would hope that, if I was a big Ultramarines fan and I had a Primarch to paint for my army, I would hope I would do it last. I think it's better. Maybe there's something to that, right? Delaying that reward. And as a bonus, you get a bit of skill increase along the way. So then hopefully is the best looking thing in your army. Unless, well, maybe that's probably a negligible point if you're already a high level painter, so to speak. Asbak asks, what would count as a high-level painter? Well, excuse me. I guess the benchmark we're looking at in this particular context would be a painter whose skill level wouldn't really rise from from the experience gained from painting the armies leading to said Primarch. Right? Like if you were to paint a 2,000 point army, and if your skill level wouldn't improve through painting the 1,600 points before the Primarch, then maybe you're not getting any benefit from that. Any skill increase from all that army painting. Because you already know. Right? It would be at least negligible. just like a it's like a high level RPG character fighting boars in the woods. Alfaris says his painting level is over 9,000. I like that reference. I like it a lot. Actually, we don't need any of that color. Well, kind of do. Kind of do. I mostly adjust my standards for rank and file versus characters, says Asback. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. Very practical. I can appreciate that. kind of goofed that up by letting this bright green sit in the recesses. That's not what I want. Gotta keep those recesses dark, you know? Okay, let's get some Nuln Oil going. Asback is 100% correct with the on the topic of adding values to black armor. You can't go lower than 0, so to speak, as in 0 value being black and 100% value being white. You kind of have to work in that 10 to 0% range. I find adding a bit of color helps, like if you work with a dark blue for your highlighting color on your black, it kind of helps, kind of cheats a little bit by helping to differentiate the values by adding a bit of hue, a bit of color. But yes, painting black armor it's harder, in my opinion. One does not simply paint black armor. Look at that. Nuln Oil. It's so reliable. Tried and true. Alfarius, you're taking off? Well, you have yourself a good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Asback says, I find painting black super easy. Risa shading my raptors took so long. Ah, interesting. I just find it's hard to make black armor schemes just look good. I suppose maybe it's because I rely too much on vibrant colors for my painting style, maybe. That could be a contributor. And you don't have that crutch, so to speak, when painting black armor. Aspect says, gotta say, I got mad respect for people who can paint fully assembled minis. That shit drives me nuts. Interesting. I take it you're a full sub-assembly guy, eh? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Most of the time I paint fully assembled, but for larger models, I'll go sub-assembly. Okay, though, these two last remaining guys for the command squad are certainly looking more table ready. I guess the next step would be to... I want to do the bronze and gold detailing, their bling that they got on them, but that knee pad is holding me back, so we gotta do that knee pad. I'm going to get some off-white and some dark sea gray, and just give those knee pads a few layers. Gonna have to put some kind of design on them. I'm not sure what exactly that should be at this stage. You're going to take off as well as back? Not a problem. Thank you for tuning in, and you have yourself a good evening. Oh, you posted in the Manufactor? Nice. I'll take a look at it in a few minutes. The sharing is appreciated, though. Just so I'm clear. Always like checking out what we work on collectively on these streams. There's a novelty to it. Well, while I'm here, let's brighten the shoulder pad symbols. Maybe we can put a skull on these shoulder pads to denote the badge of command of, you know, they are in a command squad. That's not a bad idea. Oh Jesus! I don't want the eye to be white. Okay, good. "1:30 a.m. for you, eh, Asbak? Well, yeah, you definitely deserve to have a good rest. Yeah, don't break rest just to hang out in the stream. That's how you get sick. Like some people. Not gonna mention any names." Let's apply another coat of white over this. Everybody is falling asleep. Yep, it's look, we're soon to have a morale failure, and we're all gonna flee. It's inevitable. But also, the stream is nearly hitting its 2-hour mark, so it's quite a hobby session already. Well, the metals are, excuse me, the metals are certainly looking better for that Nuln Oil, that's for sure. I don't want to begin any major processes, so I don't want to, start them so late into the stream. Maybe we'll just hit this knee pad with our metal base color, our Steel Legion Drab, and call it there. Well, not bad. They're shaping up. We got our second battle brother for the command squad, for the company hero squad, looking fairly table ready. They'll certainly be less offensive. That's for sure. Well, guys, anyways, this was a pretty chill, pretty enjoyable and productive hobby hang stream for a random weekend evening. Where's my wall of honor? Here it is. Yes, so thanks to everyone who tuned into the stream and everyone who chatted and liked. It's very much appreciated. I think it's a good thing for us to share in this hobby camaraderie as we pluck away on our piles of shame. Anyways, tomorrow I'll probably be doing a member stream, most likely. At least for a little bit, but it may turn into, after the fact, I might go into like a standard stream after that. We'll see. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one.